So let us take a few more questions in software engineering. The topic is UML, Unified Modeling Language. First is object-oriented analysis and design can be handled by the one who knows UML. Is it true or false? The answer is false, of course, because the Unified Modeling Language includes the set of graphic notation techniques to create visual models of object-oriented software-intensive design. But this does not mean that object-oriented analysis and design can be handled only by those who knows UML. At conceptual level, class diagrams should include operations, attributes, both A and B. None of the above. Answer is B. The answer is B. In software engineering, the class diagram in the UML is a type of static structure diagram that describes the structure of a system by showing the system class, the attribute operations, and the relationship among objects. But at the conceptual level, attributes only. Next is select the statement true for activity diagrams. Can you give me the answer? The answer is D here, because the statements of activity diagram that they can be used to discover parallel activities. They are used to depict workflow for a particular business activity. The activity diagram do not tell who does what and are difficult to trace back to object models. The answer is D, because all these are true. Activity diagrams are graphical representation of workflow of stepwise activities and actions with support of choice, iteration, and concurrency. Next is constraints can be represented in UML by. How you are going to show the constraint? The answer is this. Constraints are represented by these braces. Inside you have text string. What is an object? What is an object? Object is an instance of a class. Object includes encapsulation of data. Object is not an instance of class. The answer is clearly A. An object is an instance of a class. What is an abstract class? Now read this and answer me which of this is an abstract class, which defines it. The answer is C actually. A class that has no direct instances but whose descendants may have direct instances. Right? The abstract class is made just because it is to be inherited, or the third option says it all. Which of the following are the valid relationships in use case diagrams? Generalization, include, extend, all of them mentioned. The answer is D. Generalization, include, extend, all these are valid relationships in use case diagrams. Which of the following statements is true about interaction diagrams? Interaction diagrams. Now read all these and try to tell me, or try to find out that which is the correct answer. Which of the following statements is true about the interaction diagrams? And the answer is D. All of this, because the interaction diagrams are at their best when they deal with one main design flow and not multiple variants that can happen. And interaction diagrams are good at designing part or all of one use case functionality across multiple objects. And interaction diagrams allow the analyst to show iteration and conditional execution of message between objects. All of these are correct, because interaction diagram is used to describe some type of interaction among different elements in the model. So this interaction is a part of dynamic behavior of the system. Next, UML interfaces are used to, which of this is correct answer? Specify required services for types of objects, program in Java but not in C++ or Smalltalk. Define executable logic to reuse across classes. Define an API for all classes. Answer is clearly A. Specify required services for types of objects. These are the work and use of UML interfaces. Because an interface is like a template design for a class that contains no data or implementation. No data or implementation. Only the definitions of methods and properties, etc. Referring to the attached diagram, the arrow indicates. Now here the diagram is like this. So let me make the diagram for you. So this kind of diagram is what? See, this is a navigability diagram. So the arrows here describes these are the arrows actually. These are the arrows that tells you the navigation. Next topic is modularity in software design. So let us take the first question. Java packages and Fortran subroutine are examples of functions, modules, classes, sub-procedures. These all are different. Though they are spoken together, but they have very borderline differences sometimes. Java packages And for train subroutine, answer is module. So a modular system consists of well-defined manageable units with well-defined interfaces among the units. You can assume an interface as you have manageable units and the interfacing between these units. Which of the property of software modularity is incorrect with respect to benefits? Software modularity. If you talk about the advantages or benefits of software modularity, which one is the incorrect? You have to answer this. Modules are robust. Module can use other modules. Modules can be separately combined and stored in library. Modules are mostly dependent. You have to choose the incorrect answer. And the answer is D. Modules are mostly dependent. Modularity cannot bring benefits unless the modules are autonomous and independent. So if they are dependent, there is no point of modularity. Dash is a measure of degree of interdependence between modules. What is the answer? Cohesion or coupling? Can we take the A1 or B1? So we can take the B1 because cohesion is the interdependence or functional strength of the module. The module, what it does, because if this is a module, these are the units, and if they are doing this work which has been assigned to them, then they are functionally strong. And coupling, because the answer is coupling, because we are talking about different modules. We have entities here inside them. So these modules, the degree of interdependence between these two or number of modules are known as the coupling. And the coupling has to be minimum. Cohesion has to be, the functional strength has to be very strong. That is a good design idea. Which of the following is the best type of module coupling? Data, stamp, control, content. The answer is C. The dependency between module A and module B is said to be data coupled if their dependency is based on the fact they communicate by only passing of data, nothing else. Which of the following is the worst type of module coupling? Worst type. The answer is C, external coupling, because content coupling occurs when module A changes data of module B, and then control is passed from one module to the middle of the another. But in our case, this is the worst type. External coupling has to be as minimal as possible. Which of the following is the worst type of module cohesion? Module cohesion. Logical, temporal, functional, or coincidental? The answer is coincidental. Why? This is the worst type. Because the coincidental cohesion exists in modules that contain instructions that have little or no relationship to one another. Okay. When we are talking about cohesion, that is the functional strength of the module. And if you have instructions or coincident in cohesion, those instructions have no relationship to one another. Which of the following is the best type of module cohesion? Best type of module cohesion. Functional, temporal, functional, this sequential. The answer is, of course, the functional. You can take C also, but A has come first. So functional cohesion is a type of cohesion in which the task performed by software module all contribute to the performance of a single function. That is why the cohesion is called as a functional strength. Next one. The software engineer must design the modules with the goal of high cohesion and low coupling. Is this true or false? The answer is true. If the software is not properly modularized, a host of seemingly trivial enhancement or changes will result in the death of the project. Right? If they have strong coupling and very low cohesion, of course, the design is not considered to be a good design. Next, in what type of coupling the complete data structure is passed from one module to another? In what type of coupling? Complete data structure. The answer is B, stamped coupling. Complete data structure has to pass from one module to another. Next, if all tasks must be executed in the same time span, what type of cohesion is being exhibited? Is it temporal? The answer is temporal. A module exhibits temporal cohesion when it contains tasks that are related by the fact that all tasks must be executed in the same time span. And the third topic today is software evolution. The two dimensions of spiral model are, first is your radial and then your angular. So the answer would be C, radial and angular. This radial dimension depicts the cumulative cost, and the angular dimension depicts the progress made in completing each cycle. So each loop of the spiral model represents a phase. Each loop of the spiral model represents a phase. Next is the incremental model is combination of elements of what? Incremental model. Build and fix and waterfall, linear model, RAD model, linear model and prototyping model, waterfall and RAD model. The answer is C, linear and prototyping. Each linear sequence produces a deliverable increment of the software system, particularly needed in case of quick delivery of a limited functionality system. Next is model preferred to create client-server applications. Client-server applications. The answer is C, concurrent model. Why? Because in case of client-server applications, the concurrence process model specify activities in two dimensions, a system dimension and a component dimension. Hence, concurrency is achieved by these two activities occurring simultaneously and can be modeled using the state-oriented approach. Next is identify the correct statement with respect to evolutionary development. Now, please read all this and try to answer this. The answer is A. Evolutionary development usually has two flavors, exploratory and throwaway prototyping. This is true. Next is spiral model was developed by who? The answer is by Boehm in 1986. He wrote an article, A Spiral Model of Software Development and Enhancement. Next, software evolution does not comprises which one of this? Development activities, negotiating with client, maintenance activities, re-engineering activities. Of course, the answer is negotiating with the client. Software evolution refers to the study and management of the process of making changes to software over time. So, it comprises of development activity, maintenance activity, and re-engineering activity, but not negotiating with the client. Next is processes for evolving a software product depend on processes for evolving a software product. It depend on what? Types of software to be maintained, development processes used, skill and experience of the people involved, all of them mentioned. The answer is D. The processes for evolving a software product depend on the type of software also to be maintained, development processes used, and skills and experience of the people involved. Next, which technique is applied to ensure the continued evolution of legacy system? Forward, reverse, re-engineering, or B and C? Reverse engineering and re-engineering. The answer is D, because processes used for software evolution depend and rely on re-engineering and reverse engineering. Next is program modularization and source code translation are the activities of program modularization and source code translation. Forward, reverse, re-engineering, B and C. The answer is C. It is re-engineering. Re-engineering is the examination and alteration of a subject system to reconstitute it in a new form and the subsequent implementation of the new form. Next is reverse engineering is the last activity in a re-engineering project. The answer is false. Reverse engineering is often the initial activity. So first we reverse engineer, then we re-engineer. Okay. The cost of re-engineering is often significantly less than the cost of developing new software. The cost of re-engineering is often significantly less than the cost of developing new software. Well, the answer is true because there is a high risk of new software development always. There may be some development problems, staffing problems, specification problems, so it will always increase the cost. So this is one more installment of the MCQ questions in software engineering. Thank you so much. More are coming.